Hey guys, my name is Eric Piccioni. This is June 5th, 2023. One day before my birthday. I'm turning 27 tomorrow. So really nervous, excited, all the emotions about that. And I'm making this video to give you guys some insight on, more or less like our journey, but the massive reminder that I've gotten over the past couple weeks and months since I've been diving much more heavily into the VeeFriends, VeeCon, Gary Vaynerchuk ecosystem, and full testament to that community because it has helped me regain focus on where I want to go in life. And one of the bigger inspirations as to why I started this YouTube channel, this blog that I have, financialfreedomandme.com, all big inspirations of the whole document versus create method, because the goal here is to document our process to financial freedom and sharing tips, guidance, mindset approaches along the way, or things that we found of value in our personal lives, and in hopes of it inspiring others and helping other people with their own journey. So to cut it bluntly, like, if you like this content, if you want to follow along on your own personal financial freedom journey and you want to do it together, like, comment, subscribe, like, let me know. I would love to connect with other people that are in the similar mindset and really just be in each other's corner along the way. So this is gonna be big. It's also for myself and my family, like, long term. In 40 years, I want to be able to show them these types of videos and talk about where we were. And I think that is what fires me up so freaking much, to do these on a consistent basis. And that actually ties really well into consistency and the purpose of this whole video. So just to give you some quick context, I went to VeeCon 2023 in May 18th through the 20th. And my big question going into that was, how do I be more consistent? How do I stop myself from shiny object syndrome? And Gary was very easy to answer that. And it was like, you do things more because you're valuing other people's opinions of you and their version of success versus things that you actually like and things that you want to do. And that couldn't have been more true, because just to give you guys an idea, since I've gotten out of college, even in college, I started my journey. I actually listened to Gary, first entrepreneur I think I ever listened to, actually, on Instagram. I came across this channel. He's doing the 2017 eBay flip challenge, and I was like, this sounds amazing. Let me try this. And I ended up making some pretty good money. Flipped my way up to some cameras. I was doing probably like $3,000 to $5,000 a month from that. I mean, it was gross, not net. So net was probably like $2,000 maybe, and still great money as a college kid. And then I went into more of the wholesale model, and I was making a 5 on the low end to like 10K a month in net. Well, no, that was gross. In gross income, but still I was making about 4 or 5K at that point in the wholesale model. I think at one point I was up to like 7 or 8K in net. And that was insane. That was really insane. And then shiny object syndrome kicked in. I got into tested the waters in the digital marketing space. I bought a course. It was like $4 or $5,000, something like that. And I then pivoted over to the lead gen, like SEO world, and tried that for a while. Definitely didn't love it. So I got in for the wrong reason, just because I thought the money would be better. And I could use the funding that I got from Amazon FBA to then pivot over to this world. And it didn't really work out that well. And then I said, okay, cool. This isn't working too well. It's going to take too long to grow. What other avenue can I take on? So I looked into the Facebook advertising space. And similar model, like advertising for B2C companies, or like B2B, more or less like small businesses. And I never signed on a client in either. Like, I had multiple conversations and I just didn't pursue it. I to this day haven't ever signed on a client. I've gotten close, but I just didn't pursue it. And that's definitely my fault. Like, I just didn't like it enough to even try. So I did use the skills that I learned there to then pivot over to a Instagram page about promoting kindness and being a positive influence to the people around me. Created a necklace that it was like a gold heart or something that I was doing the Shopify drop shipping model on, and I probably made like $5 altogether because I had the site. I did influencer ads and like, had a couple $100 days, and it sounded great, but the margins are so low, and I just decided this isn't going to work either. So this is all in relation to me working a full-time job in the door-to-door company selling remodeling products. So I'm working part-time on these like side hustles, trying to figure it out. And throughout that journey, I just kept trying stuff. And then one day I came across one of my coworkers who was doing real estate wholesaling, and I got in contact with a mentor, paid him like $500 to try to teach me how to do it. And I didn't even call. I called like 3 people, had one potential conversation. The property value was like way more than it was worth. It was way under what the guy was asking. So he was asking way more than it was worth, and that didn't go anywhere. So I just spent $500 there. I then pivoted over to back in like the eBay space, and this one guy who is promoting a sort of it was like it was a scam for sure, but it was like a drop shipping model through eBay. So I would list a product on my profile, and saying it out loud sounds ridiculous, but I would list a product on my profile, and their model was they would fulfill it for me. So like an eBay fulfillment model. So it's like instead of Amazon FBA, it would be like eBay fulfillment. So like drop shipping essentially. And these were like graphics cards, like NVIDIA, like $900 to $1,000 cards. And my silly butt would list it for like way under what the actual price of these were. Retail is like, I think it was like $700, and I think the retail was like $1,000, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. And they would buy up like crazy, like auctions, or no, it was just buy now. So it was like immediately, like all these orders started coming in, and I would just PayPal the money over to like a middleman, like a third party, and then supposedly the order was supposed to get fulfilled, and I was like checking in daily, and this went on for like a week, like 1 week, and nothing was getting fulfilled. I was like checking in with the guy like every 3 hours. And he just said, oh, like it's coming, it's on the way. And then he sent like, I don't even think he was able to send a picture. I was trying to ask him for pictures and never went through. And then I started reaching out to the middleman, like the person who was supposed to like deliver the money or whatever. And they said that they were not a part, like they thought they were going to get their money too, and they never did. It was just a mess. And turns out like it was the best, because, it definitely helped me learn not to trust people as quickly. So I probably lost like $5,000 at that point, and I had put away a bunch of money from my full-time job in like the stock market and whatever. So I had probably $10K put aside, and I pulled half of that out from all sorts of different funds, and I had to reimburse myself because just literally pulled out $5K, which was a lot at the time. And still a lot. Like, it's still a lot. I feel like if someone gave me $5K right now, I'd be like, you're the man. So from there, after the eBay deal, we had tried Airbnb, and that's actually the one thing that we're very strongly about. Like, we feel very strongly about, because it does work. Just it's very, I wouldn't say very passive, but like with the right model, it can work really well. So we started that at our, we then moved to a house at, in the middle of all that craziness with the eBay stuff. A couple months before, we had moved to a house, and we went there with the intention of renting out another unit on the property. It's called a house hack. So you might have a duplex with 2 units, or you might have a basement, you might have a garage apartment. We had a garage apartment, and in our city, the HOA didn't allow short-term rentals. So we were like, crap, this sucks. We were making $700, $800 a month from that, and our mortgage was like $1,500. So we were pretty much cutting our mortgage in half, which was awesome. So we said, what can we do? And we decided to put it into a long-term rental, which is 30 days or more of a midterm rental, 30 days or more. Clientele actually improved significantly. We got much better guests, much better experiences, and more money. So we ended up almost completely covering our mortgage. I think we were making like 1,200, 1,300 a month from that, and it was almost completely covering our mortgage and PITI and everything. So, it was a really good experience. So now, bringing up to date, we then moved out of that house, went to Cincinnati, and then during this time, during like the past couple months prior to the move, I had worked for, or I guess I'd left the full-time job at the door-to-door company, went to the B2B marketing space, and had started working for them for like 3 months. It was a commission-only job. It was terrible. I was crushing it by their standards, but the pay was like less than I was getting salary at the other job, and I was like, this is just the worst. And I had been working like part-time with a real estate development company who was very small. There was like 3 people, and they were just getting paid was like a 3-week ordeal. Craziness. And then I went to, finally for the first time ever, a legitimate like established company where I was getting paid salary plus commission on sales that I brought in, and this is a B2B space. So did that for some time, pivoted over to another B2B space, did the same exact thing, got a little bit more pay, and was using all the money that we were making from these jobs to like put into an investment fund and like organize our finances a little bit more, give ourselves a little bit more breathing room and like a nest egg so we can spend more money on like the things that we love and cut costs on the things we don't. And then from there, it was transitioning over to another company in the same space where it was B2B marketing, sales type role. And through that experience and like the Airbnb, since that was the one thing that we really found worked, stock trading didn't work. Like we tried cryptocurrency trading, and like NFTs have worked relatively well for us. And that's another story for another day. But crypto world has been pretty neutral in terms of our successes. And then we did another Airbnb, or are doing another Airbnb currently at our house now. And since we've had experience with it in the past, we've had good experiences. It's relatively straightforward. You're just a host, good hospitality skills, and it's not rocket science by any means. It's like good money for us to be able to reduce our housing costs in half without having to spend any time cleaning up more than maybe once a month, maybe once every 3-6 months. And that's just a freaking blessing. So from there, we dabbled back into the Amazon FBA world because we knew that it had worked in the past. I was able to buy about 8K worth of inventory. We turned that into about 10K net. So, math is a little off there, but we bought, I think it was about 8K in total inventory. I think the net is either 10K or 12K. So somewhere in that range. And I know the net will be anywhere from 4 to 5K. So forgive me if my math is wrong. This is my YouTube channel. I say what I want. 1 plus 1 equals 4. So take that. And from there, the only other thing that we've tried is the vending machine business, and that's actually been a really successful opportunity for us. We're at 10 machines now, and we have, on average, we make about 1,700 to, we're pushing $2,000, and that's with 2 locations doing really well. We have 3 locations that do not do well, and they make one makes a little bit over $200, maybe $300 a month, and that's like bottom of the barrel of as far as what we want. So our minimum of what we're looking for is $500 a month. If it doesn't hit that number, that machine or those machines will stay in those locations as free storage as long as we need, until we can find another location that can replace those poor performing machines. So the second we find a better location, the best thing about the vending machine business is that you can just move them. So once we find another location, we'll just move them somewhere else. So that's the cool part. And then once you get them in a good location, you can go from 1,500 to 2,500 in that one little switch. And the cool thing is you can do that over and over. And then once everything is making over 500 or even 750 to $1,000 each, then it's like, cool, let's just get more machines and just rinse and repeat. So it's a really cool industry. We're really big fans of it because it's low cost and you can make your money back relatively quickly. And it does afford you the flexibility to remove yourself from your job if you wanted to. Our goal isn't really to go full-time into it, that might change, assuming we get all these machines in the right locations. We've got 3 that we need to put in a better location right now. So once that happens, that might be a totally different conversation in a couple months when it's like, I come on here and I say, oh, no, we're full-time in vending. Who knows, right? But I mean, it really can change quickly. And it's a good business. Like it is relatively time intensive where you need to go and like do repairs and stuff like that. But depending on the repair, a lot of those things I would just outsource because I make more through my job than I do on the business. So it's not really worth it to go and try to spend 4 hours or 5 hours dealing with the machine when I could just sell a project or 2 in that time frame and make quadruple that money, if not more, through my work. So I would rather focus on sales and do the vending business in tandem, like throughout the day or like before work, after work. And that's the other part about the locations is you have 24/7 facilities that you'll likely be in if you have good locations. If you're not, if like office buildings, which is what we've learned are not that good, then your only hours are between 9 to 5 usually. So not fun. Anyway, that brings you up to speed on, I would say, everything that we've tried. And throughout that, I mean, I've done blogging, and I actually really like blogging a lot. That's why I did financialfreedominme.com. I also have another channel that I started about 4 years ago now. Wrote a book, did all that fun stuff. So, 27 years old tomorrow. I feel confident to say that I have enough experience and know-how of what I do and don't like. So tying all of that back in seamlessly and beautifully to what I was talking about earlier with Gary, I've tried a lot. And that was one of his recommendations when you're young, is try everything. And I could have stuck things out longer and I could have persisted longer with certain things, but if it didn't interest me, I just didn't do it. I just didn't want to stick with it long enough to see it through. Because even if I was going to make a lot of money in something, if I didn't like it, I would be dreading waking up the next day doing that thing. It never resonated with me to be interested in certain industries. It just didn't. Like, yeah, money's great. And I would rather make money doing the things that I like. I would rather make $50,000 doing something that I absolutely love versus $300,000 doing something that I fucking hate every day. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And call me crazy. Yeah, like, money can definitely solve some problems. And yeah, there are some times where you might want to make sacrifices to, like, get to that good place. But I'm playing the long game. And if I die tomorrow doing something that I hate, I mean, it would just, nothing would be worth it. But if I'm doing everything that I love every single day, and if I die tomorrow, I wouldn't really regret anything. And I think that's the important switch that I've learned as of recently, is the reason why I jumped from thing to thing to thing to thing all of these years is because I was so attached to what other people did that was successful. And if I really wanted to stick through with something or stay with something long term, the only way that I could really do that at scale is if I love it. I can talk about financial freedom. I can talk about investing, making money, losing money, as I've done it a lot of times, and budgeting and just different finance tricks or mindset adaptations that we've had throughout the years. I can talk about self-development, self-improvement. Like, I could talk about that all day. Even sports. Like, I was an athlete in college, so I could talk about all that all day. What I can't talk about is like stock trading or digital marketing. I like talking about YouTube. I like talking about blogging and AI and things like that. So that's where you're going to get on this channel. And if I only get, right now, I think I have 172 subscribers. Thank all of you. You guys are awesome. But if that's all I ever have for the rest of my life, like, I don't care. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because of my future self, my family, and what I want them to see when I grow up. Because this is like more or less just a journal entry of all my thoughts, my feelings, my experiences, my emotions, of everything that we've experienced in our life. And I think that's important, because too many people, way too many people, are doing things because other people said it's a good idea, or they think it's good because other people have done it and they've had success with it. That's not me. And if I lose out on opportunities, I don't care. I would rather do things that I love. And whatever comes from that is directly as a result of the things that I align with. And that's what excites me, because I want to be fired up every single day to keep doing the thing that I love. And I promise you, and I guarantee you this, I have never felt more energized, more alive, more energetic than I do right now, doing the things and feeling in alignment with the things that I really resonate with. So I'll sum this up and just say, whatever that thing is that you've been leaning towards, whatever that emotion that you've been nagging at for the past couple months or years that you've never really given a proper shot, what's the alternative? Like, what's the worst that could happen? You know, and a really good way to reframe it is like, and what? Like, and what if you try it and it doesn't work? You enjoy it, so why not? You know, like, what would happen if you did both for 10 years? What would your life look like? You know, if you stuck with the thing that you hate every single day for 10 years, would you be happy with the way that your life turned out? Hell no. If you did the thing that you love for 10 years, would you be happy with the way your life turned out? Very, very likely. Will the finances get you to where you want to go? Maybe. If you love what you do and you stick with it long enough for 10 years, it's very, very likely that you'll be comfortable enough to live a good life. Because that's really what this is about, is like living the most fulfilling, fun lifestyle that we have. And yeah, it's a little selfish, but it's everyone's life is to each their own. And you know, I'm doing this for me and my family, and we'll see what comes of it. So thanks for sticking around, and if you watch this far, thank you so much. You might as well like the video at this point. I mean, come on. So thank you for watching, and I'll try to get a little bit more emotional or vulnerable on these videos, because I really don't give a shit about what other people think of me, and that's the most freeing thing in the world. So God bless. Stay tuned.